a 2% 20-year loan. That would be for $3 million. The other $3 million of this of 6 million limit would be what they call a grant, but it's really a grant loan, and 25% of that would be a 0% loan, or 50% of the 50, so it's 25, $1.5 million would be a 0% loan, and the other 25%, 1.5 million, would actually be a grant. So into doing that, and it has to go through the town of Shoshoni. It can't go through a private business. So the project is, say, approximately 7 million. So $1 million would have to be as a match, a share, a down payment, however you want to look at it, and how we can get there. Because the town, we don't have $1 million laying around or anything like that. So it's up to the business. So what we would do so the town has our skin in the game, we could move forward and donate our land. And the business council will accept that as our good faith. So they want the municipality to have skin in the game. They want the business to have skin in the game. So if our land appraises for, I'll just round numbers, just throwing numbers out there. I don't know what it's going to appraise for, but say if it appraised for $200,000, just grabbing a number. I have no idea what it'll be. So the other $800,000, Wyoming cardiopulmonary, it's up to them to pay the rest of that down. So I'm just using round numbers. If it's 7 million, our property appraised for $200,000, it would be up to Wyoming cardiopulmonary to come up with 800. They'd be up to them to put $800,000 towards it. That would be the match. Anything over that. So they'll go 10%. We got to have a minimum of 10%. So if it was 7 million, we'd only 10%, 700,000. But they still, anything over that, they won't go over that. So they got to match that percentage. That percentage is going to be more than 10%. If the number is 7 million, and right now, with looking at the engineers and architects' estimates, it could be approaching that number. And that was the best numbers we got at. They're still putting that together. So that is the basics. So then Wyoming cardiopulmonary, because town of Shoshoni, we can't afford payments on that. So what would happen when we got the building built and they're ready to open the doors, what we prior to that, we're going to be working, Marshall will develop a lease agreement that follows state statutes, a lease agreement with them, where their payments are gonna probably exceed what the payment has to go to, at least equal or exceed the payments that is required to make the payment to the state. And it'll be larger, the payments will be larger than that. And so they're making the payment, we're not. And if we borrowed money from the bank, we'd be on the hook for this, but we will not. The state is lending the money. Legally, it's got to go through us. But I forget the verbiage they use, Marshall can explain that a little bit, but basically they have it in writing. They will not go after the town of Shoshoni. Say for some reason cardiopulmonary would fail and they couldn't make the payments on the loan. What the state will do, they would take ownership. They would take ownership of the building and the land, the state would own it. And they would either lease it out, sell it, or whatever would they do. And they would not turn to the town of Shoshoni. And say if they still owed $4 million and they sold it for $2 million, they would not turn to the town of Shoshoni for $2 million. So the town of Shoshoni in this arrangement has no liability. Has no liability on this.
And if they fail at that point, there's already in the unlikely event they would fail, there's already a new building and everything built there.
Yeah, they have the new building that the state would either lease it out, sell it, or whatever works
We
best
have a
for the
new
state.
state-of-the-art facility.
Yes,
regardless.
we have a
We
new
won't
building.
stay.
No, it's gonna be in our town.
But we
would,
wouldn't own it.
or pay taxes on it.
Yeah.
Before, if I may interject
do.
and kind of go through what has to happen from what I've researched. One of the things that the council has to have, and I need, is the written terms for this lease. I have not seen those, or I mean, the loan. Okay. So from what I'm hearing though, it is possible, and these are the things that have to happen. We have to have those terms for everybody to look at and be okay with. Okay, from the WB for this loan / grant. I haven't, like I said, I haven't seen the written documents. So what I'm going off of is what I'm hearing and off the statutes. So it is possible for the state or whatever project we take on where the loan is 100% covered by the lease. But before that even starts or the project's approved, you have to know what the term of the loan is, all the terms. And we have to know the cost of the project. You will vote on that to determine whether that's okay. And then make sure that the terms of the lease that we have before you even approve the loan is agreeable to cover the loan or the lease. Does that make sense? So we have to make sure that whatever lease we have covers that as well. And the other thing is determine what the cost of the maintenance of this building is going to be, or if the lessee is going to be 100% on the hook for the maintenance, because whatever the town will be on the hook for maintaining this project. Unless it's part of the term of the lease agreement at the time that you approved the loan. Okay, so they both have to happen basically at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we do it that way and the terms of the lease, or I mean the loan, which I haven't seen, is allowed where if it defaults, then the state would end up with the property by itself. Not the town wouldn't be on the hook for anything else, only secured interest, and that would the default would essentially be covered by the building.
So that means that we'd lose any equity we had on that building that we put in there, we lose that.
Yeah.
And then if they don't sell that building, it could just sit there.
You're right. That is a possibility, right? But again, I just want you to understand that that's the process, right? I mean, looking at it, you have to know the actual written terms of what this loan is going to be. Okay. And what's going to be secured, what's going to end up happening if it possibly defaults, what the cost is going to be monthly. And so you can determine what the cost, what we're going to charge for a lease. You have to know what the maintenance is, so you can include that in the lease or require that the lessee covers it. Those are all the things that have to be covered. I know fortunately, I mean, we have some numbers, but I don't think you have enough to make a decision today.
We're not making a decision today.
Yeah. So, but those are the things, and it is possible where the only thing that, depending on what is in the loan terms, the town can take the loan out, and the only thing that would be on the hook would be that property.
I can't imagine in the unlikely event of a default, if the state has a couple million, $3 million still on that, no, they're not gonna leave that building empty. They won't do it.
But what's gonna go in?
Something, anything. And right now, it's just a giant liability to the
Right.
town.
Anyways, I just want to let you
So
know
we
that.
have the steps before we can go anywhere with it.
Right,
Yes.
and the big thing is, again, the actual terms of what's on the hook and all that's it's the devil's in the details, which I wish I could advise you on, but I can't. I can just tell you what I have finally found in state statute, what is possible, and it is possible to do.
It's
So what's the time period to get this paperwork, the loan paperwork?
next council meeting.
Okay.
This meeting here is not even required by the state. This is an informative meeting we wanted to have to try to get the public, get this out here. And have, we can talk about it and the public can get involved in it. And then our next council meeting, we will have everything prepared by then, have our numbers together by then, have our lease and everything, Marshall reviewing things. We're waiting on the engineers to get our final number. I wish I had them. I just know that I've been told that we're gonna be close to $7 million, what they're looking at.
But this paper that you have it for 3, right?
No, if you look, it's a $3 million loan, and then the other half is a $3 million grant loan. It's a total of $6 million.
The left side, Tammy, is the grant. I did the same thing.
It's
The left
total,
side, the grant. the other side,
Yeah.
loans.
but anyway, these are, and without putting exact numbers, which I don't have,
Vice versa.
but I've been advised that they're probably gonna be asking for $6 million. So us. And so it's, but that's as close as that I have right now, but we will have things, prior to our next council meeting. Now, and the importance of having it in our next council meeting, February 2nd, well, we have to have it, which is February 1st is on a Sunday. We have to have it in by noon, February 1st. Electronic submitted. But February 2nd, the new rules take over. And it's gonna be required at 25% down instead of a 10%. So if it's $7 million out of the total project, so 6 million still is the max. So now you gotta have 25% up front. So that's another $1,050,000 of match
Right.
money that would have to put up. And that might be a hurdle too high to clear, because the town of Shoshoni don't have a spare million laying around. So it'd be up to Wyoming Cardiopulmonary to come up with that extra $1 million. So that's the importance of that. To get that done in this time frame. So we've been working with the Wyoming Business Council. And, my meeting with the governor, I went down to the governor and had that conversation. And he was his guidance to pursue this avenue we're doing now. We went down asked, can you give us guidance? Because we've been working with the business council and they'd proposed a challenge loan, but with the higher interest rates, that would not meet the model. They couldn't justify building this. One thing Gary didn't allude to much in their business model, this office there, this facility they're gonna build in Shoshoni, a lot of their clients that have to go to Casper will now go to Shoshoni. So they're gonna be actually losing clients initially that'll be coming here. their overhead is gonna raise significantly, because they can run their little, I think they're paying $30,000 a year, something like that, for the rental on the satellite clinics annually versus what they would be paying here. Their overhead is gonna increase just a lot. So initially, I mean, it's a pull for them to do this. Now, they're hoping it's successful and it increases their business and they have a better, not, hopefully they can make money at it and it provides a service for our area. Should be a win-win. But initially, it's not. I mean, build it, they may not come. But they have enough clientele where they can do that. But they're stretching them and it's,
Well, it's stretching them, but it would also be frankly a quality of life enhancement for their physicians and nurses and all those folks coming down.
hopefully,
Maybe up the road more.
they're hoping they can attract people that want to live in Fred. I personally would rather live in Shoshoni than Casper. I'd rather live in Fremont County than Natrona County. And there are people that are like that, and maybe they can attract some quality, some other positions that really want to move to our region. That's another, as Mark said, that's another, something they can offer to somebody that's wanting to move, that they're trying to recruit to come here. We gotta, depends on what we don't have the opera, but if you want to go elk hunting, antelope, deer, fishing, we got great fishing. I mean, we have a lot to offer. Our school systems, our college.
Yeah, we have plays, we have, so those types of productions, we have.
Yes.
concerts.
This year, I'm supposed to go to this one,
What,
your play.
the upcoming play?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it called?
Something, I guess.
The hidden.
The Secret Garden.
Secret Garden, there we go. Yeah.
But that's, so I think this is a really good opportunity. Oh,
Can I,
yeah, please do. Please
I
speak.
just want
From
some.
the audience,
I
please.
just want some clarification. My name is Leah DeLay,
Thank you.
the troublemaker, of course. He said that he wanted, how many feet did he say that he needed? 1,500 feet?
Pardon?
The gentleman that spoke about this.
He said he needed how many what?
How many square feet was he looking at? 1,500, little over 1,500?
No, it's the building is 70. Right now, the current size is 7,620 square feet on the ground floor and 1,500 square feet partial basement.
Okay,
That's over 9,100 square feet.
okay. I thought that was a very good question that you had about using the clinic on the east end of town. Is there enough area around it to where they can build on to that? Use that facility and build on to the existing clinic? And make it all into one instead of using.
You'd have to
property?
buy, you'd have to buy land
Well, I
to
was
do
just
that, yeah.
Asking
But-
if there was enough land out there already that the town owns where the clinic is.
No,
Okay. That's yes or no. Okay,
that the town owns that would fit in, yeah, no.
but it wouldn't fit, so they couldn't build onto it and. Okay, the other thing was, you were just throwing out numbers. I understand that, and you were thinking $7 million.
That's approximation
yeah.
I'm getting from the engineers.
So you said that $3 million would be a 20-year loan at 2%. Is that
Correct.
correct?
Yes,
And then the other one would be $3 million at 1 point what?
no, okay, there's, so there's $3 million left over, so you'd have 1.5 million,
1.5 million that. the
0%,
grant At 0%.
0%. You'd have another 1.5 million that would be a grant.
Okay, so that's only 4.5 million.
That's 6 million. You have 1.5 million
Mhm.
at 0%. You'd have another 1.5 million. That's a grant.
So what, so that one's zero, okay, that would be a grant. So the town would be on hook for the 3 million in a loan, is that right?
Well, we
At
would
2%.
really, well, there's, it'd be on the loan, you'd have a $3 million loan at 2%.
Mhm.
You'd have a $1.5 million loan at 0%. And the other 1.5 million would be a grant.
That's just what I have for now.
But,
I was
and,
just trying to get clarification.
but that would
with
be,
everything down.
so that's significant, that kind of money, if you look at it, if it was a 6% loan. And to a bank, they had to borrow $6 million at
Mhm.
6%, right?
Mhm.
That's quite a
And
bit
that's
of
where you
money,
get lucky and
just
the
interest.
rates go, if Trump gets his way and the interest rates go down lower. But anyway, I really liked what you had to say, Mr. Keller, about getting all the facts first and the numbers and making sure that the lease agreement and the loan, all that is signed at once, because if it's not, if they back out and the town's on the hook for this grant, this loan,
Okay,
I really appreciated that it has to be done together. So I appreciated.
I don't know if you understand, we're gonna apply for it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
understand that you're
okay.
gonna apply for it, but he's saying that you shouldn't go forward with it unless you make sure that you're gonna have them sign the lease, because you don't wanna be hooked
Well,
on
sure,
the
of
hook
course.
for something, I'm just
Well,
saying.
the
I
state
really
won't allow
appreciated
it.
What you had to say.
The
Yeah,
state
and
won't
I
allow
wanna
it.
clarify,
So-
that's actually state statute that's
Yes.
required, that the
Correct.
lease terms and who's gonna be on the hook is already,
Right.
Mhm.
it has to be decided here for the amount and the terms
Right.
to move forward with the loan.
Yeah, so to me, this public hearing is just a public hearing before the public hearing.
Yeah, this is an
So-
education.
So I do really appreciate what you have to say. And I hope everybody that's listening will think about it. I'm not against the project. I think it's a great project. But I just hate to see the town go into debt if they can't afford this. So thanks.
We can't, we cannot borrow that money unless it's in a, as I explained, and Marshall alluded to the way this is designed. And it's designed where municipalities can do something like this for economic development. Anybody else?
Brand new facility on that corner would sure dress up downtown. Across the highway from the new travel plaza and just start to look nice.
Yeah, that's gonna be, I'm sure they're gonna put together an attractive building. And believe it's a real asset. We've been working on this since August of last year. August of 2024, when he first came to look at the property. So it's been a lot of process, but the governor directed us to go down this trail. And I was in talk with the governor's office yesterday about it also. But there are a lot of people in the state are fairly excited about the possibility of this coming here. So. Anybody else comments from the audience, council, anybody? If there none being, can I have a motion to adjourn this public hearing?
Second.
Been moved by Councilwoman Harkey, second by Council Close, but Councilwoman Dean was just a split second ahead. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye, pose the same. Motion passed on the affirmative. Do you want to take a minute break?